What is up guys, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we'll be talking all about warm-ups, and specifically, I'll be giving you guys the best warm-up routine that you should use for arena, tournaments, and any other game modes. This video is going to include the actual routine itself, as well as some tips and strategies that you can use to build your own warm-up routine based on your strengths, weaknesses, and general preference. But before we hop into this routine, I want to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, which is Novos. Novos recently introduced their tournament preparation feature, where you can select a tournament that you want to play, and they're going to adjust your entire training plan to prepare you for that exact tournament and help you place as high as possible, with tons of features including game sense workshops, mental preparation to help you stay relaxed and sharp during the tournament, and so much more to help you maximize your performance. Aside from that, Novos is the ultimate training platform for Fortnite, where you receive a customized day-by-day training plan to improve at Fortnite based on your strengths, weaknesses, and goals. Their app gives you quite literally everything you need to become an insane competitive player in Fortnite. You can customize which skills you want to emphasize, what types of goals you have with the game, and even add custom routines from pro coaches like Resub, Aimer7, myself, and many others. If you're looking to reach a high level in competitive Fortnite or just want to become a better overall player, then Novos is perfect for you. If you want to check out Novos, then the link is going to be at the top of the description. You can try it out absolutely free and see how you like it. Thank you once again, Novos, for sponsoring this video, and with that said, let's get into the routine. So when I was designing the warm-up routine for this video, I had a few things in mind. First, I wanted the routine to involve all three mechanics, being aiming, editing, and building. Second, I wanted to make sure the routine had room for the player to work on their weaknesses. Working on your weaknesses is something I preach constantly in my videos, and a warm-up routine is the perfect opportunity to do that, since you can get some valuable practice in as well as actually getting warmed up for your games. Finally, I wanted to make sure that the warm-up was maximally efficient and didn't involve running around between apps, and generally just fit the most practice into the least amount of time. So with that said, I ended up settling on this 1 hour routine, which I'll be showing you all in a minute. Just bear in mind that if you don't have an hour to warm up, you can also shorten some sections or just shorten each individual section so you get the same practice with slightly less time for each. This routine is super easy to adjust, and you can feel free to make any changes you want to it depending on your own preference. But with that said, the whole routine is going to take place in a regular creative, and the first part of this routine is a simple 10-minute free building creative. This is really just meant to get your hands warmed up and to get you some quick mechanical work in. So basically, you're going to want to hop into your own creative world and just crank out 10 minutes of builds, simple as that. Whether you want to do tunnels, retakes, or something else, really just crank out some techniques and get yourself warmed up as much as possible. From there, once you've got a bit of free building in, the next 10 minutes of the warm-up is going to be for practicing your weak points. As I said at the start of the video, I find it really important to practice your weaknesses specifically, and your warm-up seems like the perfect time to do it. So whether you're struggling with tunneling and want to work on that, or struggling with edits and want to run through an edit course, or any other weakness you might have, you're basically going to want to take 10 minutes at this point to work on that specific weakness. This part of the routine offers some extra flexibility and allows you to really improve while you're warming up. As you know, I'm constantly talking about how you should be working on your weak points in game, and I figured adding it into this warm-up routine would be really beneficial and allow you to further adjust it to fit your own situation. From there, the third part of this routine is a bit longer, but it's extremely useful and one of the most important aspects of the routine, and that's 20 minutes of aim duels. With the new popularity of matchmaking in creative, it's easier than ever to find a partner for aim duels. Simply hop into Reader's 1v1 aim map, the code for that is up on screen, and then hop into one of the matchmaking portals to enter the map with a random player. When you're doing this map, try and mix it up a fair amount. The map has a ton of different weapons, scenarios, and it's really easy to get some solid variety in, so try some shotgun scenarios, try some SMG scenarios, maybe some AR glider tracking, and really just try to get as much variety as you can so you can make the most of your practice in this map. Moving on from that, we're now 40 minutes into the routine with 20 minutes remaining, and the next step is to get some editing and building work in, basically some stuff that carries over to fights, and in particular, I want this part of the warm-up to consist of piece control practice. So for the final 20 minutes of this warm-up routine, I recommend using the Scavix piece control map by Donwazi. The code for that map is going to be up on screen right now. This map essentially has a ton of different piece control drills, 17 to be exact, along with some other free building sections as well. The exact layout of your practice in this map is totally up to you, but my general preference is to run various scenarios on this map. Typically, I'll run around 5 random scenarios for 3 minutes each, and then I'll finish off with a free build variation, either the piece control free build where you build to kind of navigate a bunch of structures, or the free build meta where you basically have a ton of targets scattered around and your goal is to basically piece control them. However you want to structure it, 20 minutes of this map is going to be really beneficial for all sorts of situations in game. As well as that, I strongly recommend that you try to do different scenarios each time you hop on the map. Since the map has 17 different scenarios plus the free building, you can really get a lot of variety with it, so try to pick different scenarios and that should really help you out. In conclusion, that's going to be it for the warm-up routine itself. Overall, the routine is 1 hour long, including building, editing, and aiming, along with some extra time to practice your specific weaknesses. To recap the structure of the routine, routine, it includes 10 minutes of free builds, 10 minutes practicing your weak points, 20 minutes of aim duels, and 20 minutes of piece control. This routine has 4 steps in total and should give you a really awesome warm-up as well as some great practice for multiple aspects of your gameplay. Moving on from that though, for this last part of the video, I want to just give some miscellaneous tips about warming up that you're going to want to keep in mind whether you're using this routine I gave or developing your own routine. The first tip I have, specifically if you're doing this exact routine or trying to build off of it, is that I recommend adjusting the routine to your specific preferences and goals. For example, if you're low on time and you can't play for very long, then you can easily do the same routine but just cut each part in half for 30 minutes total, or even extend the routine if you have extra time. You can also add extra sections to the routine, maybe remove ones that you don't find to be necessary in your situation as well. Overall, I really recommend that you try to adjust your warm-up to fit your own needs, as it's really hard to find a one-size-fits-all approach to warming up. Alongside that, I recommend that with any warm-up routine, you primarily focus on creative. For some reason, I see a lot of players implementing something like arena or public matches into a warm-up routine, but that's really just a poor use of time. You're basically spending 20 minutes for maybe 5 to 10 fights if you're lucky, when you could do something like realistic 1v1s in creative if that's something you want to include, which would probably give you like 3 or 4 times the amount of fights in the same amount of time. I didn't include any 1v1s in this routine because I find these methods to be more effective for getting warmed up. As well as that, I wanted to focus on a warm-up you can fully do on your own with the exception of the aim duels, but those are matchmaking so you don't actually need another player in your party. But with that said, if you do prefer 1v1s and you want to implement them into your warm-up, then they're definitely not a bad addition as well. Finally guys, the last tip I have is to make sure that any routine you do, whether you decide to do the one I've outlined or make your own routine, is to make sure that you're utilizing all of your mechanics, including aiming, editing, and building in your warm-ups. Typically, it's best to implement some form of free building, some sort of aim map, and some sort of editing or piece control map as a general rule, as those tend to cover all of the bases, and then you can kind of build upon that with any other practice methods you want to add to the routine. As you might expect, warming up all of your mechanics is really important, since if you practice piece control for an hour but get no aim practice in, then you're going to be boxing people up like crazy but then missing your shots. So overall, try to make sure you're implementing all of your mechanics into whichever warm-up routine you do, and that should help you out a lot. But with all that said guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video on the best warm-up routine in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 7. If this video helped you out, be sure to drop a like on it and consider subscribing as well if you want to see more content just like this in the future. As you may or may not know, I'm trying to upload daily, or at least close to it right now, so be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the videos. As well as that, be sure to check out Novos, which is going to be linked near the top of the description if you want to step up your game in Fortnite. With that said, thank you all for watching this video though, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.